Hey guys, welcome to Roofline Pro. Roofline Pro was built to make it really easy to manage Christmas light installation companies. It allows you to get real-time measurements, quick estimates of your material cost, be able to save and track your customer jobs, keep track of your inventory, and so much more. So let's jump into it. We'll start with the measurement tool. The measurement tool will allow you to get real-time calculations. What you do is enter an address, load your property, right? Once that property loads, you'll be able to view the home. You can zoom out, zoom in, whatever you need to do there. You can get angled views of that property so you can have a better idea of those ridges, those pitches, whatever you need to really make an informed calculation on. If that's not enough, a lot of the homes will have a street view, right? So we can pull this home up in street view. You can get a better idea of what you need to be calculating, what you need to be accounting for. Yeah, just a quick little view there. So let's jump into the actual measurement tools. So we have different measurement types. We have perimeter, ridge, and ground, right? These will automatically calculate how many perimeter clips you need, how many ridge clips you'll need, how many ground stakes you'll need, right? Depending on what you have calculated here. And it'll make a little more sense once we start building the real job. But for now, let's kind of just start measuring. So let's say this customer wants the front side of their home measured. Okay, so let's just say this. Right, let's say I want to build that as a segment. I hit enter. That'll create perimeter segment 1 and give me the calculations there. Okay, so let's say we still want to do some ridges here, right? So we can go back here, start building your points. Right, let's say that's one ridge we want to worry about. Maybe this is another ridge that we really want to calculate and account for there. You might be able to run it up here, right? Maybe down the front of the roof. Whatever your configuration you want to run here, you're welcome to create as many of these segments as you want, right? And it'll calculate all of those perimeter sections, the ridge sections. Let's say this client wants along their sidewalk, right? They want some lights along their sidewalk. We can go through here and get an estimate there, right? Build that section. Let's say they want it on both sides of the sidewalk. Right, create that section there. Perfect, right? Now you have a good estimate of your perimeter. Obviously, if this was a real job, you guys would want to go through here and calculate all of the perimeters, right? Go through and measure every single perimeter. Go ahead and get every single edge. So you have a real estimate and real calculation for this, right? So once you're done doing your perimeters in all of your sections, you can stop measuring and go down here, and it'll quickly give you an estimate of how many lights, what your wire, how many wire, your wire length, how many clips you're gonna need. You can change this, so by default it goes to 12-inch spacing, but some of us are out there using 15-inch spacing. You can put that in here, and it'll quickly calculate that for you, right? For now, most of us are using 12-inch, so let's go back to 12-inch, okay? Perfect. So we have our measurements. Now let's actually use these measurements to build the job, okay? Go to save and build a job, okay? And let's say this customer is Jane Doe. You can put in their phone number, their address, or their email address. Service address is already in there. You probably got this address when you took that incoming lead, and now you're really converting it into something. So let's jump into it. Now we can click next, and first we want to add lights, right? And when you first create an account, you're going to see that there are no light products found in the material library. And that's perfect because we haven't added any of our own products into the material library, so the system doesn't know what products you actually carry, okay? So let's jump into that. You can manually enter all of the products that you have from your vendor. Let's say you order specific C9 bulbs from one vendor, you can add that here. Maybe you order your socket wire from another vendor, you can add that in here as well. Or you can just, if you're quickly trying to just get up and running, you can auto-populate, and it's automatically going to populate all of the products. It's going to give you the C9 bulbs. It's going to tell you how many lights per pack come in their boxes or in their packs, the cost per lights, the SKUs, the bulb types, cost per pack. Your current inventory is going to be 0 starting out, right? Because we're going to assume that you haven't entered any of your inventory yet. But once you know, let's say you ordered 5 packs of blue C9 bulbs, you can enter 5 in here. It's going to automatically save that for you. Teal right here. Let's say we add another 5 of teal. And you can go through this and add those products, or add your inventory for each of those products. One of the cool things that you can also do is it's going to tell you when you get low on inventory, right? It's going to give you an alert, hey, we're low on blue C9 bulbs. How many do you want to reorder, right? And you can reorder it. You can add it to your purchase order, your future purchase order. So as you know you're getting low on products, you add it to this purchase order. Then you have a list of products that you know you need to order based off of the jobs that you have already closed and based off of the current inventory that you have in stock. So you can set those reorder points, right? Let's say you're doing a ton of jobs that require blue bulbs. Maybe you want to tell it, hey, once I get down to 3 packs, please remind me that I need to reorder, right? And maybe you don't want to reorder 50, but let's say you want to reorder 20 packs when it does come time to reorder, right? And you can adjust this manually. Obviously, this is just a suggestion, right? Once you get this low item stock alert, you can go on here and you can actually change how many you want to reorder or how many you want to add to that quote-unquote purchase order. So let's say you wanted to order 20 of these, right? You can just add that to your purchase order there. So for now, right, let's just go through here and add a little bit of inventory so we can build our job. So let's say we're just going to use blue and cool white C9. So let's say we have 20 packs of these. And on these, let's say we have 20. I think I put 10 down here. So 20 and 20, right? So we'll save that. If you go over to your clip products, we know we're going to want some yardsticks for this one. So let's say we have 10, maybe 5 packs, which is 500 yardsticks. The all-in-one clips, we'll use these for the perimeters. So let's say we have 20 packs of these. And then the ridge clips, right? We measured some ridge lines, so we want to use some ridge clips for those. Let's say we have another 20 here, right? So put that information in there. Go ahead and save it. Or you can add your wire products, right? In the wire products, we can add obviously most of us are using C9 socket wire, but some of us buy it in 1,000-foot spools, some of us 500-foot spools, 250-foot spools. Whatever you use, you can change it and adjust it here, right? If you're buying 500-foot spools, you can add it there. For us, by default, we're doing 1,000-foot spools. And then you can add, so if you have 3 of these spools in stock, it's automatically going to calculate that you have 3,000 feet of socket wire. And then it's going to automatically calculate whenever you save a job, it's going to tell you how many feet you have remaining in your current roll, right? Let's jump back into our measurement tool here. We already have these calculations, these measurements. We segmented off our ridge line and our perimeter. So let's actually go back in here and start building the job. So let's say Jane Doe. You can add the phone number, customer email address if you want. It's automatically going to pull in their service address since we entered that for the measurement section. So we'll go to next. Okay, this is where we start adding these products, okay? So we added blue C9 bulbs. Let's say the customer wants blue C9 bulbs, add to job, but they also want cool white, right? They want a blue and cool white job. So by default, it goes to 1 and 1. Most customers will want an equal number of bulbs, blue bulbs and white bulbs, right? But let's say the customer wants 2 bulbs for every 1 white bulb. You can change your strand pattern here, and it'll automatically calculate and adjust how many packs of bulbs you're going to need to finish this job, right? So once we configure those bulbs, we'll move on to the clip section. Okay, for perimeter, right? Remember, if you guys remember, in our measurement tool, we had the option to select between perimeter, ridge, and ground. This is why it matters, because it segments each of those into their own section so that you can calculate the correct clips needed for each section, right? So, for example, if we go with perimeter, we know we want to use the all-in-one plus clips. Add that to perimeter, it's automatically going to tell you how many of those clips you need, how many of those packs you'll need. For ridge clips, same thing. We'll go down here. We know we want ridge clips for the ridge. Add to ridge, automatically tells you how many packs of ridge clips you'll need. For ground, we'll go down here, go to the stakes, right? We want yard stakes for these. Tells us we only need one pack. You'll see that this turns to a green little checkbox. That means you configured all of these correctly, right? Okay, now let's move on to the wire section. Okay, so we know by default for us, we use C9 socket wire in 1,000-foot spools. If we add that to job, it'll tell us that we need 325 feet or 32% of this roll, basically. Going to break down the cost just for that amount of wire based off of our price per foot for that wire. Okay, so we go to next. You can configure in your material library, you can configure extras. So if you have timers, your female plugs, your male plugs, one plugs, termination caps, any of the extra materials that will be needed for this job, you want to make sure that you add here, right? Right now, I did not add any stock or any inventory for these products within my material library, so I can't pull these into the job, but for a real job, you would obviously want to add some female plugs, some male plugs, and you can configure how many of each you're going to take out of your inventory. So if we go next, it's going to give us a summary now, right? It's going to tell us the measurements. It's going to give us a summary of the measurements and give us a materials and cost estimate based off of the cost that we have configured in our material library, right? So we know we need 9 packs of C9 bulbs. That's about $191. 5 packs of cool white, $106. All-in-one plus clips or all-in-one clips, 100 pack. We need 2 of those packs for $30. Ridge clips, $60, and ground stakes, $25. For your wire, it's going to tell you what your cost is to use that amount of wire on this job. Once you're happy, you can go ahead and save job. Once you save your job, you can come back, you'll go to your customer job section, and you can view that customer job that you just saved. You can go in here and view the details about that job, what your cost of materials is, about $45.63. You can see the materials that were needed to complete this job, broken down by each section. You can go to the measurement section and kind of reference back your original measurements that you took on the measurement tool itself. You can see each section broken down by perimeter 1, perimeter 2, whatever section and perimeters you created there, you can go back and reference those here, right? But for now, the next step that we want to do is build a quote for our customer. This quote expiration date field is optional. Some people will have this quote expires on a specific date. A lot of people will not, right? It's just, here's your quote. There's no expiration date on it. You can also add a deposit percentage. So if you require a 25% deposit to start the job or to put them in the books, you can add that here. So then we add a line item and start building the actual quote itself. Christmas light installation will be the first line item that pulls up. You can add your own description here. Make it as detailed as you want. If you add a specific rate, so maybe you're charging by the foot. Let's say you're doing $5 a foot and it's a 327 foot job. It's going to give you the rate there. Or if you do it based off of your materials cost, you know your materials was $400 and something, you can add that here, right? You can just make this one, and let's say you want to charge double what your material cost was for your Christmas light installation, you can add that price here. So let's just say $1,000. You can get as detailed again on your description there. If you want to add another line item, let's say the client wants tree wraps, right? Maybe they want the trees wrapped with lights. So tree wrap lights. You can add a rate here. Let's say maybe you're doing $100 a tree, right? And they have 5 trees that you want to do. Obviously, you have your own rates. This is just theoretical. You can go down here. Once you're done, you can save the quote, and you can generate a PDF of that quote. You can quickly download it and send that over to your customer, right? So that's building a quote within Roofline Pro. If we go back, you can build those quotes. You can save those quotes. If you save it, you can always come back to it. So from there, let's jump into the mockup builder, right? The mockup builder is a cool little feature that allows you to give your customers a visual of what this job will look like, right? So if we upload a picture here, image of a home, you can pull it from Zillow, you can pull it, if the customer sent you a picture, you can upload it here, and then you start drawing the lights, right? So we had blue and we had white bulbs, right? That was our pattern that we built. So now you can do, the bulb sizing is going to default to C9 with 12-inch spacing, and that should give you a good enough of a visual. So once you configure this section, it's as easy as just starting to go ahead and build this. Okay, once you create a segment, again, if you hit enter, it'll stop that segment. Do another section there. This section will have lights probably going up it. This customer would probably want the garage covered as well. Then boom. If you need to add lights above the door, maybe they want some lights here. Right, you can get as creative with it as you absolutely want. Right, this customer, we said they wanted some ground stakes, some ground lights. You can do that here, build that section, and it'll automatically place those for you. If you scroll down here, you can make it darker, right, so that it stands out a little bit more. It's not that clear, so it's really kind of just up to you guys how dark you want to go. Deep night is pretty dark. You can't really see the home. It's basically just an overlay over the original image that you uploaded. I know we all want an AI mockup builder. Unfortunately, with current APIs, it's just not possible. So this is what you can do with the mockup builder. But one of the cool things within our mockup builder is you can go on here and save it as a project name or save it to a customer job, right? So we created Jane Doe's customer job. So save the mockup to their job. It will automatically save it to their account. So then when we go view that customer detail again, go to the mockup, you can see the mockups that you have created for them. And if you got to go back and create another mockup, you can do that directly from either the customer job section or the mockup builder and save as many mockups for a customer as you want. One of the cool things that you can do with this mockup, when you're building the quote, if you scroll down all the way down to the bottom, you'll see the mockups that you have saved for this customer, and you can add that mockup to your quote. And it'll automatically add a little image that will get pasted to the PDF version of your quote, save quote. You can export that PDF and send that to your customer. It'll automatically have a description and kind of a visual for your customer to be able to see. Should make it a little easier to close some of these jobs. So yeah, that's basically the back end of Roofline Pro. The tools we try to make them as simple as possible for you guys to use, make it really quick and easy and painless to build your customer quotes and have a real idea of what your cost is going to be going into a job, right? That way you don't short yourself on bidding the job. You actually have a true estimate of what your material cost is going to be going into that quote building process. So that wraps it up for our tutorial of Roofline Pro. If you guys have any questions, please reach out to us on the website. We're always excited to expand and build new features. We have plenty more features coming in the future, so stay tuned. Thanks for using Roofline Pro.